Holder screams cover up over Russia probe, gets nasty surprise moments later. A shocking series of events played out recently after former Attorney General Eric Holder cried cover up over the probe into so-called Russian collusion. Too bad for him, things blew up in his face as he got a surprise a few moments later, and it was downright nasty. There's no doubt at this point that the liberal claims of Russian collusion are false. After seeing all the leaks that have come out of the government these days, it's safe to say that if someone knew something, the American people would have heard it by now. Sadly, the left is still desperately clinging to the hope that the Russia allegations are true. Proving just that is the liberal outrage over the Republican House Intelligence Committee's most recent announcement saying they didn't find any evidence of collusion between the Russians and President Donald Trump's 2016 election campaign, according to NBC. However, not everything has gone according to plan for the left, who is adamant that the committee's findings must be wrong. In fact, former Attorney General Eric Holder found this out the hard way after whining on Twitter about the conclusion of the committee's findings. Even worse yet, the man actually had the nerve to cry cover up without knowing any of the information that the committee analyzed over the last several months. Republican House Intelcom shut down Russia probe before doing a complete job, Holder declared from his social media account. This is a cover-up and a lasting stain on the reputation of what used to be a bipartisan committee when it was run by Republican Rogers and Democrat Ruppersberger. Politics beat a desire for the truth. Too bad for Holder, that was about the time things blew up in his face as he got quite a nasty surprise. As it turns out, journalist Katie Pavley saw what Holder had said and decided to rake the man over the coals for it. Well, if anyone knows what a cover-up looks like, it is certainly you, she simply wrote. Most people realized right away what she was talking about, and she actually has a very good point. She's referring to the Fast and Furious scandal, the one where the DOJ lost a load of guns they were supposed to be tracking, only to later learn that those same firearms were used to kill a Border Patrol agent. Much to the former Attorney General's dismay, Pavley, along with millions of other Americans, hasn't forgotten. Members of a congressional committee at a public hearing Wednesday blasted former President Barack Obama and his Attorney General, Eric Holder, for allegedly covering up an investigation into the death of a Border Patrol agent killed as a result of a botched government gun-running project known as Operation Fast and Furious. The House Oversight Committee also Wednesday released a scathing, nearly 300-page report that found Holder's Justice Department tried to hide the facts from the loved ones of slain Border Patrol Brian Terry, seeing his family as more of a nuisance than one deserving straight answers, and slamming Obama's assertion of executive privilege to deny Congress access to records pertaining to Fast and Furious. Source: Fox News. In all, Holder was the first ever Attorney General to be held in contempt of Congress after failing to hand over documents related to the Fast and Furious scandal. When all was said and done, he sealed the documents that directly implicated himself and possibly former President Barack Obama, so that no one could see them. We are almost a year into an investigation, millions of taxpayer dollars spent, and literally nothing to show for it. But, Holder wants to cry cover up. On the other hand, you have a past investigation pointing to a severe problem at the highest level of government, only for officials to stonewall the investigation and seal all evidence that points to their wrongdoing. Then, one of those same guilty officials is supposedly outraged as he pretends that a cover-up has happened again. This is the state of our nation now. The left is living in this make-believe world, where everything they do is justified and everything that Republicans do is wrong. Selective moral outrage is unbecoming of anyone. However, Eric Holder would have done himself a favor by sitting this one out.